interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you some breaking news. There's been reports all over the area of something crazy going on, something big. People's homes, their minds even, are being taken over by something called, what is it they're calling it? They're calling it Bad Movie Debate.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of Bad Movie Debate. This week we're going to do a review episode because we got something very special coming up for the next debate, and it's taking a little bit more time to get sorted out and planned with scheduling and everything like that. So, just to keep things consistently coming out, we're going to do a quick review of the new Marvel TV special, Werewolf by Night. This is really cool. This is honestly a really cool thing that they did, because obviously 99% of everything from Disney Marvel is going to be the superhero stuff and like what you would expect from them, right? But they do have this line of comics that is about a werewolf and about a guy named Jack Russell who struggles with being a werewolf. And like, you know, there's a little bit of a superhero element to it, obviously, because it is Marvel still at the end of the day, but that allows some horror and stuff. So it's really cool that they were able to get this done and put this out during October, during the spooky season and everything like that, which is another reason why I'm going to talk about it right now. And it's my next review. So this is interesting. It's only 52 minutes long, which is short in the grand scheme of things. Like they could have added an extra 30 minutes and it would have been cool, fleshed out some stuff. But at the same time, I'm glad they didn't just fill in a bunch of random scenes and stuff, because everything in Werewolf by Night was relevant, was important to the overall plot and everything. And before we get too into it, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm giving it like a 4 out of 5 stars on mine, because I've been doing the stars on my 31 for 31 if you've been following me on Instagram with that. But I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. And really the only reason I'm going to take the 1 off is because they do the whole thing in black and white, which is great. But then at the end, they like bring in color back. They bring in color, and I'm like, just keep it black and white, because one of my favorite things about this movie was they really got the feel of the Universal classic movie monsters. So like the OG, like Dracula and Frankenstein, Creature of the Black Lagoon, like all that, like it really had that feel to it, because there's like a very like noticeable mystery element to it as well, which is a lot of fun. So like you kind of come in and there's just really not, like, it just drops you right in the middle of the story, which is great storytelling. And you don't really learn stuff until, you know, the characters do. Like, there's no like holding your hand and like taking you on this long-winded thing where somebody's explaining something to like the main characters so that they can explain it to the audience. Like, nope, it's just, you just dropped right in. 52 minutes later, it's over, and it's awesome. It's just, it's a lot of fun. And again, it mostly because it's just exactly like the Universal movie monsters. Like, it really had that feel, like with the black and white. They even had the little like cigarette burns, like from back in the day when we would have to like change over the reel because it was about to change, so they could keep the showing of the movie in a theater continuous and stuff. Like, that's how the projectionist would know, like, it's time to like get the other reel on the next projector like ready to go, because it's about to be time to like hit play on that one. Like, they even like put those in there, so like little things like that like made it feel more genuine. The setting was felt very genuine and like haunting like that. The cinematography had moments that were very old school and stuff like that, while still doing like a bunch of modern stuff, because I mean, it is 2022 and they can do a bunch of fun stuff like that and everything. And then honestly, I really don't have any complaints about any of the acting. All of the acting was so good. All of the editing was so good. I mean, there's really just, I don't know. I mean, there's really just not even much more to say. It followed a straightforward plot that works, makes sense, is super fascinating, and you know, the transformation scene is very cool. They really played with this is kind of what I was talking about. The transformation scene specifically was very good old school cinematography, because they use shadows to kind of tell that, which is like honestly kind of harkens back to the original Nosferatu, and everything. And it just looks so good. Like you don't actually really see the transformation scene, but you can see what like he is going through it during like through the shadows, and it just makes it so interesting. It just makes it so interesting. But what I'm curious about is this was a 52-minute TV special that was really good and a lot of fun. And not only did we get Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night, but they also introduced Man-Thing, which is very interesting. Which I was really not expecting that, but I thought that was awesome. I'm more of a DC Swamp Thing person myself than a Man-Thing, but I mean they're very similar, obviously. So like, I was very happy to see him show up, and it was like, I don't know, it's just as curious because it's like, well, what are they gonna do with these characters now? Are they gonna do anything with these characters now, or is this just a one-off? Like, are they going to do more of these like TV specials and like bring them back in that way? Or what's even going to go on? Man-Thing, I will say the only good part about the color coming back in was he looks really good. Like I don't know what the effects are, like how they're really going for it, but he looks awesome like in color. So even with that being my one serious complaint, like there was still something that made it worth it, and it was fine. So, but still 4 stars because it could have been better, could have been a little bit longer. I mean, that's one. Yeah, I wish it was longer. It was so cool. But obviously, I mean, well, maybe not obviously for people who might not know. Werewolf by Night is where Moon Knight first shows up. In number 32, I believe, as like a side character, but then. Everybody really liked Moon Knight, so they leaned more into his character and stuff, and like he expanded, and then Werewolf by Night kind of like fell off and stuff. And I think they're redoing it, or they just redid it a couple years ago, like a new take on Werewolf by Night. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but so it's curious. Like, so yeah, Moon Knight came out, earlier this year, and now we have Werewolf by Night. So I'm really hoping that we're obviously going to see more of Moon Knight, because there's just no way they're going to get Oscar Isaac and like make him like, or not make him, but let him act that fucking good in just a show that's only like 6 episodes or however short it was, and then like not bring him back to do more stuff like in the new Phase 4 of Marvel. So I'm curious if we'll see. We definitely are going to see Moon Knight more, because that's just dumb. If they're just going to do that as a one-off, that would be just such a waste of an actor more than anything, let alone the character. But I'm hoping that there's some crossover, some future crossover of Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell, and Man-Thing and everything. Like, I think they could very easily get away with doing like a whole like series of movies, kind of like the Universal Classic Movie Monsters. I'm hoping that like there was such allusion to those movies, because like that's what they're trying to set up, is like that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have a bunch of TV specials that they drop every once in a while, where it's just like it's like an issue of a comic, where it's all related because it's Jack Russell doing stuff Werewolf by Night wise, and then but now it's like you don't need to see this first one that came out to understand the next one. You know what I mean? Like, and so like they're like independent stories, but they all have Jack Russell being the werewolf doing the thing, because he's a werewolf, but he fights for good, but he's a werewolf, so he has to do what he can to make sure he doesn't kill the people he cares about and everything. Classic werewolf shit right there. Yeah, it's just it's a lot of fun. It's really short. It's too short once again, but like written very well, edited very well, and just a lot of fun. Especially with the I wouldn't say it was more horror. I would say it was more like a fantastical mystery than horror, but there was some good horror like moments that again are like harken straight back to classic Universal movie monsters. So it is what it is. It's just like just all these little, the way they drop all of these little nuggets of Bloodstone and like his daughter and like what happened with them and then like why why Jack Russell is really there and who he really is and like what this little like hunter society that they're in and stuff. Like it's just like they don't hold your hand at all, which they used to not do back in the day in movies in general and stuff. And like I felt like the dialogue also really worked well and was reminiscent of like movies like from the past. You know, like it was just more, I don't want to say better written than stuff that comes out now, because that doesn't seem like, because there's some really well written shit coming out today, like obviously. I think it was just like, I don't know, maybe more poetically written. Let's go with that. There's a little bit more poetic dialogue between characters as they're like stuck in one of the tombs and like they're like talking about why they're there, but like not really saying it. Like there's a lot more subtext and it's a little more poetic and flowery, but like in a way that's easily digestible and stuff. Some of the old stuff isn't, it's like kind of droning when you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk in that way. But I think they towed the line of like a modern dialogue and a more old-fashioned poetic dialogue in film. And you got a good mix of all of it. So it's like, okay, I know what's going on. I know what their intentions are, but they're saying it a little bit more, again, just poetically, more fancy, more romanticized. You know, they like kind of hit that at every turn that they needed to and when they needed to. And my buddy Kyle actually hit me up about it, saying that he really enjoyed it too. And he pointed out something that is very true. It is pretty freaking gory for Marvel. The blood isn't it's not red, which is probably honestly why they were able to get away with doing it, is that it wasn't red since it was in black and white. So like there's weird restrictions on that kind of stuff to this day even. So they were like, nah, yeah, we're gonna like let some blood fly and stuff. And like, you know, that definitely helps give it a little bit more of a more modern horror stuff like feel to it, but it's not like over the top. It's not gratuitous. Like it's they just really, I'm just very impressed. I honestly, I'm gonna go out and say it. I really liked it. 4 out of 5, but this is probably some of the best stuff that they've put out since Moon Knight. Because like honestly, I mean, everything else Marvel right now has been kind of like they've been dipping since Endgame and stuff, and like they've been hitting some stuff. You know, Thor: Love and Thunder was fun. Moon Knight is incredible. Miss Marvel's all right. She-Hulk's all right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but this is like Moon Knight and this are the two best things that have been put out, and a lot of it has to go with the straight up acting and writing. And just general storytelling and filmmaking for both of those. And like these are the two best things, and they're directly related to each other. So maybe they can hear what people are saying and lean into those productions more so we can get more of that shit. You know what I mean? Like that would be ideal, because again, shit's just gas, dude. Like it's just genuinely really good. And I just really liked Gael Garcia Bernal. I don't know how to say his name. I apologize, sir. I'm terrible with names. But he was incredible, and I want to see more of him. He was very, very effective in this movie, and I mean, he's just one of many. Everybody was very good across the board, acting wise. And then, you know, all the sets and everything were really cool and like made you feel kind of creepy, and like, you know, it was just good. It was just good. I liked it. So I guess that's that. There's not really as much to analyze as something like a Jordan Peele movie. Like they weren't really trying to say anything. They were just trying to tell a fun, somewhat scary, somewhat fantastical story, and they nailed it. Not everything has to mean everything sometimes, you know? And that's how I went in watching it, and that's how I left it. I was like, wow, that was a lot of fun. The production was amazing. Everything hit the marks for me. Wish it had been longer. Wish they hadn't have brought in the color at the end and just pushed all the way through with the black and white just because it just would have hit a little bit harder. That last scene would have been a lot cooler, I think, if it was still black and white. But still a great scene. You get to see Man Thing in color, and like he looks really good. So please bring me more of that. So overall, 4 out of 5 for me. I'm gonna put up a poll on the old Instagram about this one too, to see just to see what y'all think. Like, what do y'all think about this one? Have you seen it yet? Do you care to see it? You should see it, even if you don't really care about the rest of Marvel stuff. Like, this is a really quick watch. So I think everybody should check it out. Follow on Instagram. Follow on Instagram at Bad Movie Debate, all lowercase, all one word. Twitter too. I don't really use that as much, but Instagram for sure. I'll put a poll up in a few days after releasing this one. Let me know what y'all think. Please follow and rate on Spotify if you haven't already. That really helps me out, and makes it, I get more people to listen and stuff, which is great. So yeah, y'all have a good one, and let me know what y'all have been watching for 31 for 31. Like, if I haven't, if you guys have been following me, you've been seeing what I've been doing. What have y'all been watching? Is there something I should watch? I got a few recommendations that I'm going to be getting to here sooner rather than later. But like, there's something you want me to watch and post my opinion about, reach out to me. Text me if you have my number. DM me on Instagram, and like, I'll add it to the list. It's a very fluid list. So, yeah, just hit me up, y'all. Follow me, and I chat. I'm pretty free. Well, not all the time, but you get the idea. Anyway, bye.